Fellow gardeners, let me share something that completely transformed my relationship with soil health. After years of dumping bags of expensive store-bought amendments into my struggling garden beds, I discovered the ancient Korean approach to soil restoration that's been quietly revolutionizing how farmers and gardeners build thriving ecosystems from the ground up. What I learned didn't just save me hundreds of dollars, it taught me how to work with nature instead of against it. Korean agricultural wisdom, refined over thousands of years, offers us something profound. The ability to resurrect even the most lifeless soil using ingredients you probably have lying around your property. These methods aren't just sustainable, they're incredibly effective at creating the kind of rich, living soil that makes plants absolutely thrive. Korean natural farming, KNF, operates on a simple but powerful principle. Everything your soil needs already exists in your local environment. Instead of importing solutions from distant factories, you become a soil alchemist, capturing and concentrating the beneficial microorganisms that naturally want to colonize your garden. This approach recognizes that healthy soil isn't just about nutrients. It's about creating a bustling underground city of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that form symbiotic relationships with your plants. When you understand this relationship, you realize why dumping sterile potting mix into dead soil often fails to create lasting improvements. The Korean methods focus on indigenous microorganisms, IMO, the local beneficial bacteria and fungi that are perfectly adapted to your specific climate and soil conditions. By cultivating these native microbes, you're essentially recruiting a workforce that knows exactly how to thrive in your unique environment. The heart of Korean soil restoration begins with capturing indigenous microorganisms from your local environment. This process costs virtually nothing but yields incredible results. Start by finding the healthiest, most vibrant spot of natural growth on your property, perhaps under established trees or in areas where organic matter naturally accumulates. Cook a pot of rice without salt or oil, allowing it to cool completely. Place this cooked rice in a small wooden box or bamboo container, leaving the top open. Position this container in your chosen location, about 1 foot off the ground to avoid ground moisture while still capturing airborne microorganisms. Cover with a cloth or screen to prevent larger debris from falling in while allowing air circulation. Within 3 to 7 days, you'll notice white, fuzzy mold beginning to form on the rice surface. This isn't something to fear, it's exactly what you want. The white mold indicates beneficial fungi and bacteria are colonizing your rice. Different colored molds, blue, green, black, suggest contamination, so start over if you see these colors. Once your rice is thoroughly covered in white mold, you're ready for the next phase. Mix this moldy rice with an equal amount of brown sugar or unrefined molasses in a clean container. The sugar feeds your captured microorganisms while creating an environment where beneficial microbes thrive and harmful ones cannot survive. This mixture will bubble and develop a sweet fermented smell over the next week. Korean methods excel at transforming what most people consider waste into powerful soil amendments. Fermented plant juice, FPJ, represents one of the most potent tools in this arsenal. Unlike composting, which can take months, fermentation creates immediately available plant nutrients while preserving beneficial enzymes that store-bought fertilizers destroy. Collect fast-growing plants from your area. Dandelions, comfrey, banana peels, or any vigorous weeds work beautifully. Chop these materials finely and weigh them. Mix with an equal weight of brown sugar, massaging until the plant materials release their juices. Pack this mixture into a glass jar, leaving about 1/3 empty space for expansion. Cover with a cloth secured by a rubber band. Never use an airtight lid, as fermentation produces gases that need to escape. Within days, you'll notice bubbling and a pleasant wine-like aroma developing. After 7 to 10 days, strain out the plant material, leaving behind a concentrated liquid fertilizer that contains both nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. This fermented plant juice provides immediately available nutrition that plants can absorb through both roots and leaves. Dilute 1 part FPJ with 500 to 1,000 parts water for regular applications. Your plants will respond with vigorous growth and improved disease resistance that synthetic fertilizers simply cannot match. While indigenous microorganisms and fermented plant juice work wonders, fermented mixed compost, FMC, addresses the physical structure of degraded soil. This technique transforms any organic matter into rich, crumbly soil amendment in just 2 to 3 weeks, a fraction of the time traditional composting requires. Gather both brown materials, dried leaves, paper, cardboard, and green materials, kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, garden waste, in roughly equal proportions. Layer these materials while spraying each layer with diluted indigenous microorganism solution and fermented plant juice. The key difference from traditional composting lies in maintaining proper moisture while encouraging anaerobic fermentation rather than aerobic decomposition. Cover your pile completely with plastic sheeting or canvas, weighing down the edges to create an oxygen-free environment. The lack of oxygen prevents the high heat that destroys beneficial microorganisms in traditional composting, while still breaking down organic matter rapidly. Within 2 weeks you'll have sweet-smelling dark compost teeming with beneficial microbes. This fermented compost works dramatically better than store-bought amendments because it contains living microorganisms specifically adapted to your local conditions. When you work this material into your soil, you're not just adding organic matter, you're inoculating your garden with a thriving ecosystem. Successful soil restoration requires strategic application of these Korean methods rather than random experimentation. Begin by testing your soil's current condition through simple observation. Does water pool on the surface or drain too quickly? Is the soil hard and compacted or loose and sandy? Understanding your starting point helps you tailor your approach. For heavily compacted clay soils, focus initially on fermented mixed compost worked into the top few inches, followed by regular applications of diluted indigenous microorganism solution. Sandy soils benefit more from fermented plant juice applications that provide both nutrition and help develop soil structure through microbial activity. Apply these treatments consistently but gently. Korean methods emphasize working with natural processes rather than forcing rapid changes. Monthly applications of diluted fermented solutions, combined with seasonal additions of fermented compost, create steady improvement without shocking your soil ecosystem. The beauty of this approach lies in its cumulative effect. Each application builds upon previous treatments, creating increasingly robust soil biology. After the first growing season, many gardeners find they need fewer and fewer inputs as their soil develops its own natural fertility. Korean soil restoration methods offer something precious in our world of quick fixes and expensive solutions. They teach us to become partners with nature rather than its customers. These techniques don't just create better soil, they develop your skills as a gardener and deepen your understanding of living systems. The investment required is minimal, your time, attention, and willingness to work with natural processes. The rewards extend far beyond saved money to include healthier plants, more resilient gardens, and the satisfaction of creating abundance from waste. Ready to transform your dead soil into a thriving ecosystem? Start with one technique, perhaps capturing indigenous microorganisms this weekend. Watch how this simple step begins to change everything about your garden's health and productivity. If this approach resonates with you, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. Subscribe to Soilsage Chronicles for more sustainable gardening wisdom. Together we can build healthier soil and more abundant gardens, one handful of earth at a time.